Hey there. So choosing a paper to bring to the writing center. We're going to talk about that for about 5 minutes. First thing I want to do is I want to share my screen with you to talk about the assignment itself. It's called the Being Tutored paper, and I do want you to start thinking about it now. So here we are, the Being Tutored paper. It's about 20% of your grade, maybe 25, I'm not quite sure. But this is a fun assignment. Why? Because it involves some experience. What is it? In in many ways, it's forcing you into the position of once again being a learner. And that's important in the overall valence of this course, because as teachers and as mentors and as interns, workshop leaders, what we want to do is place ourselves in the position of a learner to imagine what kinds of things are going to be most effective in terms of writing instruction, reading instruction, and spaces in which an ecology of writing can grow. So first things first, this is a paper that you are going to write in which you reflect on the experience of being tutored. That's why it's called the Being Tutored paper. How to get started with this on your own time, like it says right here, not during hours you're scheduled to work in your internship. Please schedule an appointment in the ESL Support Services Center or the Writing Center with a veteran peer consultant. To make this authentic, you must bring an actual writing assignment or task you're currently working on. Now, what does that mean? Holy moly, you've got a lot of choices here. And let's just make sure we understand that it is early in the semester. You may have other classes in which writing has been assigned. You may not have begun that writing yet. So let's think about the world of writing that you're doing in your life right now and the kinds of things that might be acceptable for this kind of assignment. The main thing I want to emphasize, I'm going to point right at the camera, is choose a piece of writing that is authentically going to be revised for some reason, where you authentically need some feedback from people in order to take it to the next level. Now, what could that include? Let's just think about this. It could be at any stage of the writing process, but it must be genuine, like I say right here. A paper you're writing for a scholarship. Several of you are seniors. What are the kinds of things that you might be writing at this particular point? It could be a scholarship for graduate school. If you're a senior, it could be a CV, a resume, could be a letter that you're writing for some reason. If you're graduating and thinking about graduate work, it could be a project that you think would be a great writing sample for grad school. Could be a draft portfolio of your favorite work that you're getting ready for a future employer. Or finally, it could be an early assignment for a writing class that you have this semester. Now remember, we're talking about the writing process in all of its glory from beginning to end. So maybe you have an assignment that you need help decoding or interpreting. Maybe you have notes from the class and notes on your own that you could work with a student, tutor, in order to kind of flesh out or brainstorm approaches to an assignment. Maybe you legitimately have a rough draft that you'd like to be read and responded to. But the way that this assignment works, I'm going to point again, is that you choose something authentic. That is, it's authentically in process and it's something you actually do care about. Things that won't work, things you wrote last semester and never want to think about again. Paper that you got an A on where there's no apparent reason to revise. But any kind of paper that you imagine, hey, I may want to get this published one day. Or, hey, I may want to use this as a writing sample. Or, hey, I know this is way off in the distance, but you know, it's meaningful to me. That is going to be the thing that will make this assignment sing. Now, what are you going to do with that? I'm going to take you back into share screen. You're going to write a 3 to 4 page reflection about your experience, concentrating on the nitty gritties of what went down during your hour with this Writing Center tutor. What did you learn or think about as a result of working together? What strategies did they use to advance your conversation? How did it feel, like a classroom or not like a classroom? Did you work with someone who was a stranger? How did that feel? Many students in this class have never actually had their work looked at before by a Writing Center tutor. And that is just fascinating because you are all excellent writers, I imagine. So that process and the thinking there would be really interesting to see. Finally, what I'd like you to do with this paper is I'd like you to make explicit connections to at least 2 of the readings that we've done so far in this course that can help you kind of put your experience in conversation with some of the authors that we've read. Bounce ideas off of them, grab quotes from these articles. Help me see how your experience is both like or maybe unlike the kinds of things that we read about, and help me see the meaning that you're making out of that, right? Finally, what I'd like you to do is to conclude by exploring in what ways this experience might inform your tutoring or your mentoring practices going forward. So what are you going to take from this experience in which you are thrust into the role of a learner once again? How are you going to make this a part of your pedagogy, your practices as a tutor or workshop leader in the future? So that would be the way that I would start to approach this essay. And I would say, just in short, please go ahead and get started. Click that button, get in contact with someone from the Writing Center or the student or the ESL Support Services Center, and jump into this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what you do with this assignment.